Hey, what's up, Mafias? Welcome back to The Commute. And in this podcast, I'm joined by Sunny Kumar. He works as an Android developer, as an SDE too in Zomato. So, there's a lot to learn from him. And in this podcast, we'll be covering from hobbies as a software engineer to something like how to improve as a software engineer. So, there's a lot to learn there. Hope you guys really enjoy it. If you enjoy it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And for now, let's get started. So, yeah, I usually start off my podcast while with asking this particular question. How do you define stable life?
Uh, I'll say where you feel ki you have achieved what you wanted to do before getting older. Like let's say in a childhood, you wanted I want this, I want that, but and now, since now you can get those things with or without money or whatever, I'll say that is the moment you feel it's a stable life.
Hmm. Like it's an interesting approach towards stable life. I've asked other people who are working in this corporate world and maybe founders as well. They have particular answers to stable life. Yeah, it's an interesting approach that to be able to buy whatever you want from your childhood
Not just
is.
it's not about getting the materialistic things. I mean, just anything like yeah, like you have friends and you can get stuff you want. Like you
Mhm,
don't feel any pressure. I'll say, ki, I have to do this, I have to do that. Like now it's like you have a lot of things.
mhm,
Of course, human tendency is to get everything they want, and even more when they get that thing. So that is
mhm,
different. But at
mhm.
a point where you have most things which makes you happy, I'll say that is stable.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, that's a a great definition towards stable life. Actually, I'm going on a tangent here. I can see, I think so, guitar in your background, right?
Yeah.
Do you play it?
Yeah, I always want when I was in college or school, I always wanted to do something non-tech, learn something non-tech. So
Yeah.
it was music at the time, but I did not have money or time at that time. But I now do I. So I occasionally learn and play it.
Yeah, that's great. I actually started playing ukulele for
Oh,
just the sake it's been around 1 month, and yeah, same reason. I wasn't able to, get into music as such when I was in college back then, but it's something of a hobby that people enjoy, and I think most of the tech people are too busy with their stuff and they forget about hobbies and trying to do other things other than tech. So yeah, music is a great way to enjoy stuff. Yeah.
and that's what
So
I suggest to people. If you have got the job, then do things which you wanted to do. I'm doing a lot of things which I wanted to do, but could never because of various reasons. You know.
I get it. I get it. I'll extend this to what's the story behind, like, how did you start up from your college and get to where you position you are? SDE2, I think, in Zomato. How do you get to that?
I mean, this story starts from school. I'll say. So in 12th, in 11th, I went to a coaching center for IT JEE, and I met a guy
Mm-hmm.
named Utkarsh. He was into come game developer. He was like he used to develop games, and so I got inspired by him. I started also followed the same path. I started developing games. Then 12th came, and have to prepare for ITJ and all stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But uh, at that time, we had two attempts. So in during the whole 12th, I barely studied for ITJ. Instead, I just I was into computers and games and computer games I wanted to make. So
Mm-hmm.
then in the first attempt, I got I think single digit marks in on JEE.
Okay.
Then still, when we had 6 months again, then I again continued the same thing. I did not focus on that much. I even I got 47 in math 12th final, and
Mm-hmm.
73% in 12th. So it was not a great thing for me. But in computer science, I got around more than 95 in 12th. So I realized that this is my thing,
Mm-hmm.
not the physics, chemistry, maths and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So after 12th, I the even after second attempt, I got 70-80 percentile, which was of course bad. I did not get any college, and
Mm-hmm.
I gave WBJE, which whose counseling I missed. I applied for KSET, whose exam I missed because I got late in the examination center.
Mm-hmm.
So somehow I got some college in Orissa at this 1 lakh 80,000 rank, 1 lakh
Mm-hmm.
80,000 rank, and start when I went to college, I started focusing on C++, competitive programming. I did that for 1 year. Then it started feeling stale. Like I was good at it, but there was no output. I just wrote code and it gave some output, and yeah, you pass the checks. But it was not exciting. Then I started Android. Like, okay, I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to output of something which I was writing.
Mm-hmm.
Then I created some. Took some tutorials, started creating my own projects. I created some blog app. Then I was like, I want to make you know website for this. So I started learning front end as well, like Vue.js. Then uh, I wanted to make backend. So even tried backend. So after going all over again, I mean, all over other places, then I came back to Android till I like Android. I'll stick to it. So since then, I'm into Android. And it's been 3 years. I'll say 3-4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I started second year. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a great story. I actually started off myself in game development when I actually got into game development when I was in college. One of my friends was into game development, and it kind of really excited me. I hated web development back then because I felt like there was so much to do in that thing, and it was very weird.
Yeah, I
That's why.
like being relevant because it required so much. Like you have to design, you have to create the story, and a lot of artistic mind is needed, which I did not had. I realized later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it. Like, game development as such is very enjoyable to code, but you have to have a lot of talent to actually make a game and actually release it in public and be an indie developer. Um, yeah, it's 100% something that people would really enjoy because game development is one of the toughest fields for related to computer science. It involves algorithms that we wouldn't be even using in Android. But yeah. Um, as of Android, I similarly started off and actually got into Android development just because I hated web development. And yeah,
Everyone hates JavaScript.
yeah, that's why I just got into Android. And I was using Java as my DSA and stuff. And I started off there and went on a tangent with Kotlin and how that's how I got into Android and stuff. Yeah, that's a very nice story. One thing that I want to pinpoint is like working in Zomato as such. How is the environment there? Like, is it something that people would aspire to be in? Like, that you have senior developers who are like really great. I want to learn from that. Is that kind of environment present there?
So, Zomato is a very big organization. Like we have a lot of people. So you see a variety of people. So
Mm-hmm.
there are a lot of good peoples like which who you see and like wow they are very good and who you aspire to be of course.
Mm-hmm.
And the environment is like at least the where I work. I mean, it's a big organization. I wouldn't know how what's going on Blinkit. So
Mm-hmm.
where I work, like I have a lot of freedoms. I can suggest, I can work on it, and I can present. Even I can publish it. It's very free. Like
Mm-hmm.
you get to suggest, develop, even without product managers. Like you don't have to wait for the approval for product managers if you think it's
Mm-hmm.
it's impactful and it has a good UX for the app.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
it's
get
very
it. Yeah. Like Zomato as an environment is super healthy. That's what I get it.
yeah.
And like I think like going on a tangent here. Like, have you ever tried to um like you know make contacts or maybe network with people out of your own team as such? Because I've seen That usually for me, usually people don't go out of their own team to talk to other teams as such. Have you tried to do that?
Actually, we have to do that. Like we have a lot of cross team projects, so it's a need, to talk to other people,
Mm-hmm.
interact with them, share
Mm-hmm.
tech and all. So it's need. You can't escape that.
Yeah, I think so. Zomato has a server-driven UI. So, like, mostly app developers will be talking to product, UI, UX, and backend as well. So that's a lot of to and fro. Like for my company, like Geeks for Geeks as such, they have their mostly it's on the stuff is on the web. So web developers and app developers do not, talk to each other as such because there's no use. Yeah, and with backend as such, we don't usually get to it because backend developers are mostly like talking to web and they're making it so that we can actually make the API sufficient enough to run on the app as well. It's not server driven UI, so we are not um,
Uh,
into we're
and
talking to backend. Yeah.
it's different here. Like even web, Android, and backend, we all three sit together in the start to discuss how we are gonna approach the uh, product and decide contracts and stuff. It's we have server driven UI, so
Mm-hmm.
that's why we just decide everything in the start, and it's not like no front end is working in silo and Android is working differently.
Mm-hmm.
It's a collaborative, environment
Mm-hmm.
regardless of their tech or
Mm-hmm.
platform.
Mm. Have you ever like tried to approach product managers or maybe CTO of the company just to say, okay, I have this new idea for this new feature that Zomato would really like. Have you ever tried to approach it that way?
Not in the Zomato level, but in like I work on the merchant sides, so
Mm-hmm.
I have done that in that side, and yeah, few things also went live. So
Mm-hmm.
I've not tried in the whole org wide level.
Okay, okay, that's great. Like one more, I am really interested in AR as such, and I usually try to integrate AR in anything and everything that I get into. So Zomato has an AR feature, right? Um, yeah, if you have eaten KFC, you might have seen AR there. So,
So
like, has AR feature produced some kind of impact for the app, or is it just something of just a show?
uh, I wouldn't know much about that. It's it's a completely different team, and they handle it. I'm on a merchant side, where you don't have this.
Yeah, and just do let me know if you have found anything or anything. Yeah, just a simple question. Other than that, like, what do you think about like companies who are getting into server-driven UI, or maybe like we don't have a server-driven UI as of now, but we would like to get into it. How should we, transfer our app to make it compatible to server-driven UI?
First question will be, do you even want to move to 7-driven UI? See,
Mm-hmm.
our Zomato app has a lot of constantly things are changing. Like every day, something new can come up, something can go. It's
Mm-hmm.
constantly changing, constantly changing stuff. In that case, you need server-driven UI. Uh, but let's say your app is very static,
Mm-hmm.
and the effort to result ratio is not that high. Okay, if
Mm-hmm.
your app is very constant, barely stuff changes, and
Mm-hmm.
if your product and if you can wait for 1 week or whatever the release cycle is for the
Mm-hmm.
changes to go, then it's fine. You can if you don't want to do server driven UI,
Mm-hmm.
but my if a lot of things are changing every day, then it's a need. It's a must.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
First,
I've
of
seen.
course, you have to if you want to get into server driven AI, you have to write the components, atoms, and then molecules. Then
Mm-hmm.
uh, you have to define what type of, let's say, a snippet will be there. So it's a long process.
Mm-hmm. I get it. Like, can I ask the questions around related to what Zomato is using, like in technology, or is it like not possible
For server driven UI or in general Android,
in general Android?
we are using Kotlin, and there are some teams in Blinkit who are using Kotlin Compose multi-platform.
Mm-hmm.
but mostly Kotlin. So it's mostly Kotlin and Android.
Okay. So are you using XML or it has gone to Jetpack?
Uh, we are using XML. Some teams in Blinkit are using Compose multi-platform, so they are using Compose fully, like for
Mm-hmm.
Android and iOS. But
Mm-hmm.
it's not, ma- client. I mean, user-facing apps. It's more of uh, warehouse type of apps which are using
Mm-hmm.
platform.
Mm-hmm. So, like, what's your thinking upon Compose multi-platform versus XML as such?
I mean, it's exciting, it's promising, but migrating existing apps like ours, I feel it's a bit too much. Like the result will won't be that high. I mean, we have
Mm-hmm.
a very big app and a lot of code is there. So it's completely migrating, forgetting everything which is on the pipeline will be a bit too much. Like
Mm-hmm. It
that's the issue.
will,
Otherwise, if
yeah.
you're starting a fresh app, it's a very good tech.
Mm-hmm.
I'll suggest using it if it's you're starting from scratch, but
Mm-hmm.
migrating it just because it's a new guy in the market,
Mm-hmm.
that would be a bit too much.
Yeah, but like the thing is, like as Google is pushing Compose more and more, don't you think like people will be the libraries will start deprecating around XML and stuff, and mostly people would be using Compose as such, and
I don't think so. I mean, they said the same thing with for Java, but Java is still around. People still use it. Of course, it's
mm-hmm,
not like how much Kotlin is being used, but it's not going anywhere.
mm-hmm,
I mean, it will stay for a very long time.
mm-hmm. I think so.
It's
Yeah.
it's hard to remove something which is there from very long, like XML,
Mm-hmm,
and even like in even for now, freshers of now, I'll suggest ki learn XML. I mean, you cannot escape that just because Compose is nice. Of course, I like it, I love it, but I can.
mm-hmm.
I, if you want to get the job in the current market, you have to learn XML.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think so because of that a change, like going from Java to Kotlin to XML to Jetpack Compose, the curve of becoming an Android developer is becoming higher and higher. And I think so most people won't be able to get into Android development as such. And yeah, the ability to enter an Android market is becoming really, really difficult.
Like if
Because
you want to learn front end, you just slap JavaScript and you have React and that's
yeah.
it. But in Android, you have to know how to understand Java. Like then there's Kotlin, then XML, then there's new tech. I mean, Compose and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
it's hard. Yeah,
Every day there is something new around the corner, and Android is has the ability. Google has the ability to kill something very easily. So
nothing.
yeah, I think like one of the things that I hate about Google as such is how much they charge for like digital assets in Play Store, like 30%, 50%, 15%, or stuff like that. I think so. Zomato would not face it because it's a physical product.
Right.
Um, so, but yeah, I hate that part. But what can we do? Yeah, they have a monopoly there.
Yeah, they got to make money.
Yeah, can't be bothered about that. But yeah, have you ever tried working on your own app as such on KMP maybe or on Compose?
Yeah, I have a lot of unpublished personal projects. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I've tried Compose multi-platform, even desktop apps, but I've never published it or put on GitHub. I mean, just for personal use. Let's say I I'll give you one example.
Mm-hmm.
So if you in Wear OS like Watch OS, Wear
Mm-hmm.
Android OS, you don't have any app to control the native camera app of your phone. If
Mm-hmm.
you can, if you have like Samsung Watch or Samsung Watch and Samsung phone, you can do it. If you have uh, uh, Pixel, then you can control. But in some random phone, some random Android, you cannot. So I made an
Yeah.
app for that, and I use that for personal use. I have not published it on the market.
Mm-hmm.
So there are apps like this which I have made for my own.
Mm-hmm. That's something good. Like every developer should actually start off making their own apps because I've seen the difference between making your own app versus like working on some big app is that we tend to forget what it's really like to set up a whole new app and then start to build it from zero, as compared to just solving bugs or adding new features, because it's a way different skill, and it's way more effort to start a app from scratch as compared to just integrating some features or solving bugs. Yeah, I think so. It's much more skillful, and every Android developer should have their own app release in the market.
Right.
I don't know if Zomato has allowed you to actually publish it, or is it like somewhere in your contract that you cannot publish apps on your own?
No, I don't think so. There is any rule or policy around this.
Okay, I think so. Zoho has it, but I don't know. But yeah,
Or
that's
maybe I
interesting.
don't know. I haven't. I know. Will know if I
Not
publish.
everybody reads their whole contract, but yeah. So yeah,
Everyone just sees the base and sign.
yeah, and they're worried about taxes and the base, and yeah,
How much in hand?
yeah. Like, what's your thinking about Android development as a future perspective? Like, as is Android going somewhere, or there will be something around the corner that will just kill Android, and there will be something new in the future?
In my opinion, it's hard to kill a native I mean, native stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Be it Android, iOS, or any platform, it will always be there. No matter how much what what comes or how fancy new stuff is. Even everyone said that Android will die when React Native came.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone said the same thing when Flutter came, but
Mm-hmm.
we are still here, and they are on the verge to
Yeah,
die.
yeah.
So
Flutter team got fired, so yeah, I was really happy about it, but yeah, never mind.
you can anyone can put their future on the native, and it's fine. It's not
Mm-hmm.
going anywhere.
Mm-hmm. I think I
You have
think.
to learn new tech. I mean, that's what engineers have to do. Like, they can't just learn one tech and stay in the silo and work. They have to continuously grow and get familiar to the new tech. That
Mm-hmm.
too is necessary.
Mm-hmm. I get it. Like, I think with like KMP, Flutter, React Native, there's a lot of multi-platform things. But I still like KMP because it has a native approach to solving some problems. I worked with Flutter previously, and I particularly hated it. But yeah, the transition between, if you understand Jetpack Compose, you can understand Flutter very easily, because they're very close to each other, and I think same goes for React Native. But yeah, it's something very exciting. KMP excites me a lot as compared to other technologies, so that's that. Other than
I've
that,
tried, I've
yeah.
tried Flutter. Personally, I liked Flutter, but not Dart. Dart, I
Mm.
found
It's
uh,
a very weird language, yeah.
I wouldn't use in daily drive as a daily driver. But
Mm-hmm.
Flutter as a framework is fine. It's a
Mm-hmm.
nice, but
Mm-hmm.
only if they use some other language,
Mm-hmm.
but not Dart.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Kotlin with Flutter would have been amazing, but of course Kotlin can't do that.
Yeah, yeah. Kotlin has so many advantages, and it seems like amazing to use Kotlin. But yeah, other than that, like, what's your future perspective on KMP as such? Have you like tried making Compose desktop apps or Compose websites and such,
Uh,
and release them?
uh, in the term of releasing, I have not done it, but I have made personal projects like
Mm-hmm.
the desktop apps mainly.
Mm-hmm.
Website I have tried, but it's not smooth as other frameworks. Like, I'll say
Mm-hmm.
it's bad right now.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
website, but desktop is fine, and so is iOS, and of course Android. So it's
Mm-hmm.
nice.
What have you tried with Compose websites? Like, is it Compose Web, or is it,
Vaz,
sorry?
yeah, Compose Web, like, which uses the WASM.
Yeah,
W.
the Basm. Okay, okay. It's the KMP one. So I've been actually, I kind of wanted to make my own landing page for my app that I've been trying to release. So I just designed my landing page. I was thinking that I can make somehow a website with Kotlin. I came across this open source framework called Cobweb. I think so. It's pretty great because it looks like React or Kotlin, and
it looks great. I don't know if you have heard about it or not, but yeah, I think so. It's pretty new, but it kind of allows you to make websites like React would you React allows you to make website, and it's pretty exciting. I think so. If more people are making website with Kotlin and Compose, it will get to its maturity, and we will see more web developers with Kotlin, and that would be great because Kotlin with backend website apps, there's a lot of things to learn around Kotlin. That would be great. Have you ever
It's a,
tried? Yeah,
I'll say it's a far-fetched future. Like uh,
yeah,
React developers to us is let's say we won't go to Flutter. Same
yeah.
ways that won't the possibility they won't come to Android. I mean, Kotlin.
Kotlin. I think so. It's much more compared to like if we look at the demographics of how people are using things. I actually had a talk with um, the ex DOE of Rapido, and he actually pinpointed that he had been talking to a lot of people from South America and stuff, and they are mostly people are not going Android native. Rather, they are using React native to make apps. I think so. It's much more demographics. So if you were to push game Kotlin multi-platform in India, because I think so, India is very new to Kotlin and stuff. If you were to push it here, I think so. There might be a possibility that Compose websites would be present in India. But yeah, it's something that is exciting and yeah, rather far fetched. Do
Yeah,
you? Do
I
you?
mean, sooner or later, there are apps which will change. Like a lot of apps in India are now on Compose. Like I think even Rapido I've seen in Compose.
Hmm.
Few other apps as well. So it will come, but not. I feel not at that scale, which
Hmm.
is like React right now.
Hmm. React is, of course, Facebook's, stuff. So it would be really hard to compete with Facebook. But yeah, um, it's something exciting. Have you ever tried Ktor for backend as such?
I when it came first, I tried to whole Kotlin tech stack. So I tried for like simple note taking app
Mm-hmm.
from backend to front end in Kotlin with
Mm-hmm.
Kotlin multi-platform. So I have tried,
Mm-hmm.
but
What's your perspective on that?
Kotlin, because it's Kotlin, I feel it's nice, but people wouldn't want to use because it's JVM. They uh, prefer Golang kind of language.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Mm-hmm.
tried talking to colleagues, but I like said it's JVM like that they don't want in backend right now.
Mm-hmm. I think so. There's like kind of learned about Golang and such. Golang has much more better memory management than JVM does. That's why most backend developers do not like JVM, but it's still better as compared to other languages. I think so. Python can also develop backend, and JVM would be much better than developing in Python. But yeah, Ktor, I've kind of started learning Ktor because I kind of want to make my own backend for my own app. So yeah, I think it's something that people who are indie developers can try it out and make their own apps and release it in public as it matures. I think
Yeah,
so.
they
More and more
wouldn't
apps will use it.
they wouldn't have to change language to if they're developing something they can just stick to Kotlin and do everything.
Yeah, yeah. I think most app developers are mostly Android, like Kotlin on the front end and Java on the back end. But Java has a very high tendency to write a lot of code to make a
Mm.
simple thing. So yeah, I think so. Kotlin with Ktor would be something exciting, and yeah, everyone should even try it. Like I will. I would have asked about more into building an app or SaaS as such. Have you tried making your own as compared to just an app, like, and make it like going into an entrepreneur route rather than just sticking to corporate world as such?
Uh, I have a friend,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't get time for that, right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So in that perspective, but of
Mm-hmm.
course, everyone in their mind has that I want to become a startup founder. That
Mm-hmm.
is there.
Yeah.
Let's see. something happens, but I don't think anything is right now.
Mhm, mhm. I get it. Like a lot of people who are building their own apps started off similarly in that they want to be an entrepreneur or something. Yeah, it's the ability to build an app completely from the scratch with Kotlin as such, with Ktor as its backend, front end with Jetpack Compose, and maybe a landing pages with Compose Web would be something that every app developer should try if they want to be making a minimum viable product and releasing it in public. Um, that would be a great approach if people want to try it out. Other than that, yeah.
A lot of people just limit themselves. Ki, if I'm doing Android, I'll just stick to it. I'll write to mobile app only. I mean, and you
Mhm,
should not do that. You should be open to exploring other things. Like if you're
mhm,
doing Android mobile app, and, try other things as well. Just because maybe you can create a whole product from out of it.
mhm, mhm. Like like going on a tangent here a little bit. Like Zomato gives you, I think so, has a very good salary. So and they demand a lot of work from you similarly. So
The it's like just get the work done. That's it.
yeah, yeah.
A lot of freedom is there.
Okay, okay. That's great. The thing is, do you have your own time to, learn new things as such, or how do you take out time to learn while you're working?
Uh, like in tech, so mostly weekend I see, but in on weekdays I am not. If after office I don't get don't touch the tech stuff. I do
Mm-hmm.
the non-curricular activities like guitar, or I go for mixed martial art classes. So
Mm-hmm.
that day in my weekdays are full. So
Mm-hmm.
I want to learn something tech on weekdays. I have to sacrifice either the
Mm-hmm.
guitar or MMA. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a decision you have to take. Okay, what you want to do, what you can't do.
Mm-hmm.
Like they say you can't have everything. Yeah.
True. It's true. It's rather it's the curse of corporate world. That's what I would say. It takes away your freedom in many cases, but it provides you a good stability. But yeah, like, do you ever see yourselves in the future leaving Zomato or any other company and starting your own thing and maybe employing other people?
Yeah, I have thought about that. Like even I have a friend which we sometimes think about that, but
Mhm.
it's not in the near future.
Mm. It's a little far fetched.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, do you have any advice for people like me? Like, let's say 1 to 2 years of experience in Android. They do not know a lot, but they know a little, and they are trying to get good at Android, and maybe try out other things. Maybe like releasing their own app. Do you have any piece of advice that you can give so that they can become better developers and become employable enough to get to Zomato or maybe Duolingo, these kinds of apps?
Uh, I'll say experiment. Like uh, don't just follow. Like if you want to learn something, don't follow tutorials. Just go in the wild, start writing code, and if you're stuck, get Google it and solve it, and try to create different kind of apps. Not just, let's say you create a Twitter clone.
Mhm,
Now you're creating Netflix clone, then you're creating Facebook clone. I mean, all three are like same. Like you get call the API and you get the data from some public
mhm,
API. Try different kind of apps. Not then you
mhm,
will expand your knowledge base. Not and
mhm,
it will make you more versatile. Try
mhm,
creating some app related to video, some app related to audio,
mhm,
and stuff like that. Some app which deals with Bluetooth, some app which deals with services, work manager. Like expand your knowledge, not
mhm,
just stick to just some API call and you. It's
mhm,
nice looking.
mhm. Like, what do you see when you're hiring someone? What are the things that you're seeing in this particular app developer? Is it mostly like,
Basics needs to be clear. Like there's no escaping that.
mhm,
First of all, basic needs to be clear. Like everything.
mhm,
Then of course, then it comes on the experience level. Okay, what are we hiring for? If we are hiring West one or they're fresher or not, then it
mhm,
changes according to that.
mhm,
But and then of course the culture part is there.
mhm,
But basics needs to be clear. that.
Mhm. Mhm.
So for other mistakes we can let go, but if they mess up in basics, there's
Mhm.
no any from that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, do you ever look at DSA as such, or maybe competitive coding, or maybe lead code as such? Do you ever look at
Not
that?
that on high level, and at least in Android we don't ask you that lead code hard or that kind of questions.
Mm-hmm.
If your Android is very good and your DSA is okayish,
Mm-hmm.
then it's fine and we'll hire you.
Mm-hmm. You get it. Like, for anyone out there, what's your one piece of advice that you would give to become a better developer as such? Is there any one formula out there?
I'll say just experiment and get stuck in a problem, and
Mm-hmm.
then first find a solution
Mm-hmm.
by on your own.
Mm-hmm. Learn
And
from experience.
when this loop continues, you of course get better and better every day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's great. Yeah, this is it from my side. I do not have any more questions. If you have any more questions or any piece of advice that you want to give.
uh, to freshers, I'll say don't look that much on the market. Keep this guy is doing that guy is doing that, this guy got this much
Mm-hmm.
salary. Just follow what you love. Like you can't just get good at something if you want just because of money. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, of course, money is a factor that can go anywhere, but
Mm-hmm.
to get to become successful, you have to do something what you love, what you like doing it. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you don't want to do it for long,
Mm-hmm.
you have to do what you love. Otherwise, it will get boring, and
Mm-hmm.
then only the money factor won't help you.
Mm-hmm. I get it. Like, I have kind of a single question here. Like you talked about in Zomato that you have to just provide the work and do not care much about pressure as such. There's a lot of freedom there. What if you ever got stuck on a problem that you cannot solve? Like maybe your
There are
SD1.
there are people who will help you. You have managers, you have colleagues. Like everyone is very helpful.
Mm-hmm. I get it. So it's not mostly that you have to solve your problem on your own, but rather run your brain with other people and solve it. And I think so
Of
that's
course,
a
if
better
you're
approach.
yeah, if you're taking some big decision, then you must and you should discuss it with other people so that they might have some ideas or better ideas. So
Mm-hmm.
in the PR reviews, instead of in the PR reviews they discuss on the front
Mm-hmm.
to if they have a better approach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is it from my side. If I have any more questions, I'll just mail you or maybe text you. Other than that, yeah, thank you for coming on. And yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up? I hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you did, let me know what you guys think. Comments are open for you. Of course, like, share, subscribe. And other than that, thank you for listening to it. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.